Hello, my crafty friends. How are you today? I just wanted to pop on for a few minutes and talk about some ideas because I know a lot of people out there are looking for ideas of things to sell. So I've done a ton of research. I so some of this will be based on my personal experience and things that I know are good sellers, and then just things that I see online based on my own research. Of course, you want to also take into consideration your area. Go to craft shows, look to see what are other people selling in your area, because you don't want to sell something that, if you go to a craft show, you don't want to go and see 5 or 10 people selling the same thing that you are trying to make. You will be competing with too much in your area. So, the big thing first I would recommend is look around your area and see what's for sale. Now, if you're using Etsy or Shopify or Big Cartel or any of these other websites to sell on, and you're not doing in-person craft shows at all, then you won't have to worry about it. All you're going to want to do is come up with a theme or something that maybe is a little bit different, so that people who are looking for a certain whatever can find it. So for example, if you want to do pride, maybe it's you might want to get into that. People have strong feelings either way. So that's just one option. Another option might be, we're in peak wedding season. So maybe you want to do something that's wedding related. So some of the top things that you might want to consider making to sell, and these ideas are primarily going to be for your Cricut, or using either paper crafting or vinyl, not necessarily things that you are making with a sewing machine to sell. So, like I said, wedding things. Wedding things are huge. There's a great market for wedding things, whether that be wedding favors, centerpieces. There are so many that I see online. There's tutorials all over the place of paper craft flowers. And I mean, some people they're absolutely amazing. I very likely will not be doing a tutorial on paper crafting for flowers, because that's just probably beyond my skill set. They are stunning. It's not something that I've played with. I've done shadow boxes and other type of paper craft items, and I could do a tutorial on something like that. But like the rolled flowers that you see, um, I would probably suggest going up to the YouTube search bar and looking for something like that, if like a flower arrangement is something that you are interested in getting into. Um, if you could probably do something along the lines of gift boxes, like personalized gift boxes for weddings, graduations, although graduations at this point are probably pretty much over for the 2023 season. But something to take into consideration going forward. Acrylic signs are a good seller. They're relatively inexpensive to make, and if you do anything personal, you could really get some money in those. I've done some acrylic signs before. Unfortunately, I don't have one to show. The ones that I've done, I've actually sold, so I don't have an example prepared that I can show. However, I have some ideas of signs that I will be making, so we can do a tutorial when I get to making some of those. Another popular item would be cake toppers. So those are another paper crafting item that you could sell generic ones. You could do, first birthday, or yeah, well, any child birthday, any number birthday. You could do wedding ones. You see the cake toppers of the little bride and groom. So I'm sure if you have the patience to work with, kind of a little bit smaller, you could probably do something along there, or you could do something as simple as wedding bells, or for birthdays, you could do balloons, you could do rainbows and unicorns and dinosaurs. It doesn't have to just be numbers. So there's a whole bunch of options as far as cake toppers go. If you use Cricut Design Space, there's a ton of options that are in Cricut Design Space. So it would just be a matter of making a few, getting comfortable with it, and then starting to sell them. Make sure when you do the cake topper, you attach it to a stick of some sort, so that your customer is able to just take the cake topper, insert it right into their cake. Try and, include everything that the customer is going to need to use the product when they purchase it from you. Just, I like to think, what do I look for when I'm purchasing something? I would rather spend an extra dollar or two and have everything that I need in the package when I get to it, and I don't have to go out and try and figure, how am I going to insert it, attach it, hang it, whatever. Another popular item that I see is stickers. Stickers are a lot of fun. They are very easy to make. You just need a printer and your Cricut to cut. If you want to cut them, now some people will do a bunch of stickers on one sheet, and they'll sell a whole sheet of stickers. So maybe you want to do like a theme, or like a whole bunch of different gnomes, or a whole bunch of different unicorns, and they're all different, and you're going to sell one sheet of stickers. Then you would cut it a little bit differently if you were going to do a sheet of peel and stick, as opposed to just selling one sticker like this that I cut all the way through, so that I would have each individual sticker. So stickers are fun to make. Kids love them. Adults like them. I see so many people who have brand stickers of whatever, on their laptops, or on their e-readers, or, their iPads. Check with, like, what's your local area? Maybe you want to make a city logo. Although I would be very, very careful if you're doing any kind of logo, because if anything's copyrighted, you don't want to get in any sort of trouble. For example, I probably would not make to sell Disney characters. I wouldn't make to sell any football teams. If you want to make these stickers, like if you have this favorite sports team, you might want to make up, stickers for whoever, the Buffalo Bills, or the Giants, or the Patriots, or, whoever. I wouldn't sell those though, because you could end up getting yourself into hot water if you're selling those for profit. But there's no reason why you couldn't make stickers to give to friends and family, for people to show their own team spirit. Same thing with Disney. I have heard that Disney is very strict on people using characters to profit. So I've heard people getting letters in the mail saying, stop. If you don't stop, we're going to come after you. I think Starbucks does the same thing. So I would be careful if you're trying to make anything licensed. NFL, Disney, and Starbucks are the three that come to the top of my head that I have seen a lot of stories on social media. I've heard a lot of chatter that these places send people out to craft shows and look to see and then proceed to send like a cease and desist letter. I don't have personal experience with this, so I don't know that it's true. I just know that I've read a lot online, and so I personally shy away from making things like that to sell. I do purchase football like football material, and I've made like tote bags and stuff, and I sell those. I've read that that's okay, and I think you get around it because you're buying the material, and so like the license somehow, I don't know. I do want to do a little bit more research onto that and just see. I don't make a lot and sell though of things like that because I'm still not exactly sure. I don't want to end up in legal trouble. So, just something to chew on. T-shirts and baby clothes. People are always needing t-shirts. People are always on the lookout for t-shirts that say funny things. I did a craft show at the beginning of June. I made funny t-shirts that said something about not being a father figure, and it was a dad bod or something like that. And I sold a few. I didn't take many, but I sold all the ones that I took. I also had received orders because people wanted, different sizes. I had only taken mediums and larges, and people wanted small or extra large or whatever. So I did get orders. So I probably sold 10 or 12 t-shirts of those Father's Day ones, although I will say that I had them hung up on a garment rack outside my tent at the show, and everybody who walked by laughed and thought it was funny. The vendors all around me were getting a kick out of the people who were walking by laughing at these shirts. So people are always looking for funny t-shirts that are not the run-of-the-mill thing that you get at Walmart or Target. Baby clothes. I sell a lot of baby clothes. I love doing baby clothes at Christmas time. I do, funny Santa ones. But then again, I also sold a lot. I did a bunch of onesies that I wrote, like new to the crew, and I sold a whole bunch of those. I did them pink and blue. What are some other ones? You could do big brother, big sister. Those are fun ways. Sometimes, people will do like little announcements, putting, the to be big brother or big sister in a little t-shirt, and they'll set the kid, aside. You see the pictures, and they're like, I'm going to, big brother. And then, maybe a little sign next to it saying, our family is growing. So those are really fun ideas. If you go ahead and order your shirts bulk, it doesn't cost anything to set up an account with places like I use shirtspace.com and Jiffy Shirts. It doesn't cost anything to set up an account with them, and then you can order t-shirts so that you're not paying retail prices at the store to buy shirts. Although I will say, last time I purchased shirts, I bought them at Michael's because they were $2.99 for the Gildan shirts. And then I didn't have to worry about ordering them online because, like, at shirtspace.com, it's a minimum of $75 to order in order to get free shipping. So I had gone over to Michael's. They were on sale for $2.99, and then I was able to buy a smaller quantity. I did that in June as well because I wanted to make a t-shirt for my stepson for his birthday, and I didn't have the size shirt that I needed for him already in my stockpile. And I was like, well, I don't really want to order because I need to spend $75, and I had just placed an order for shirts. And so anyway, so my point to that is that know your sales too at your local stores, because you might be able to find better prices than ordering them online. Um, Although you're limited with colors. Although I will say that Michael's had a whole wall of every color. I was pleasantly surprised. They had an excellent selection of shirts. So just keep in mind, though, because in addition to selling, you want to keep in mind how much you're going to sell things for. So water bottles and cups are also really good sellers. These are double wall insulated travel cups. I tend to sell a whole bunch of these too. I just make sure, you know, that I keep my vinyl down enough so that the person's lips aren't going to be touching it, because vinyl is not food safe. If you're going to do any kind of cutting board, I would do that in reverse, mirror your image, and put your vinyl on the bottom of the cutting board so that if someone's using the cutting board as a practical item, they're using it, the vinyl's not going to get cut up with their knife, but you don't want the person's food touching it either, because vinyl is not food safe. So you would want to definitely adhere the vinyl underneath the cutting board or serving tray or whatever, so that food isn't touching it. And then other popular items tend to be ornaments. So this one I actually sublimated, and it's lightened up. I actually made this one a couple years ago, and it's lightened up quite a bit. I don't know if it's because I didn't seal it. I'm actually going to play around a little bit and try again and seal it and see if it holds up, or it could just be that I didn't put enough. I made this before I had that heat press. I used my Cricut Easy Press, so I don't know if I just didn't apply enough pressure when I was doing it, but this is something that I'll be playing around with a little bit. I actually bought these at either Michael's or Joann's. These would be something that you probably would want to possibly purchase at the end of the season if you're, you know, want to take that risk of them not having anymore. These ones are ceramic. These ones I've noticed sell very quickly, where the wood ones don't sell as fast. But they're pricey too. These are like $3 each. So if you're making these to sell these, if you don't catch them at a really good price, you're not going to get a very good profit margin out of these, because you're not going to be able to sell these, I would imagine, for, you know, $10 or $12 each. So if you're spending $3 on the ornament and another, you know, 50 cents to $1 or whatever just for the vinyl, now you're $4 into this. How much are you going to sell it for to make a profit? So this one, I just did black permanent vinyl on the ceramic. And then this one, like I said, I sublimated. However, you could do HTV on the wood instead of trying to sublimate. So there's lots of options. You could, if you had a printer, you could also print an image and then adhere it on. Don't forget though, if you're doing anything like that, you want to mirror it, and then you would heat press an image onto the front of it, and you would probably want to seal it somehow too, so that it didn't get scratched up. And then another thing that I've made a whole bunch of with my Cricut is coasters. I've actually purchased a couple different kinds of coasters. So these ones are have a pad on the back of them, and these ones here have cork on them. But these are sublimation. Look at how shiny that is. This was infusible ink. It was a Cricut infusible ink transfer sheet that I used. So was this, actually. This was an infusible ink transfer sheet as well. This is the black, and then this was a multicolored one. This is another infusible ink transfer sheet, and so were these. So coasters, I sell these for $5 each, and I actually do quite well selling coasters. And I mentioned before too, car coasters. So those are other really great options of things that you can do with your Cricut. And then, you know, I'm often, when I go into Target, I'm on the lookout. So I picked this thing up. You could do something in vinyl, like on the, the front of this. This is just a little, and it's actually, I don't want to shine it too much, but it's got a mirror on it. It's dull because it actually has a protective coating on the mirror. And then it has this, so there's a slot inside, so you could print something cute and maybe sell this as, like a little portable, maybe for like it could probably be for a boy, maybe a little girl if she wants to put, her hair things in it, or a little boy, put some, well, no, because there's a mirror on it. I was going to say some toys or whatever, but this might be a little bit more of a girl's product now that I think about it. Maybe they want to put their scrunchies in it, or they want to put, makeup in it or whatever, so you could put a cute little saying, on the front of it, or just, somebody's name. So this, anyway, I bought this for $5 at Target. Unfortunately, I did buy this some time ago. Last time I was in Target, my Target anyway, they didn't have any more of these. I picked this up at, I don't know, around Mother's Day, I think. So I keep forgetting to do something cute with this. So there's a whole bunch of options on things that you can make that are good sellers. Like I said, I have not made all of these. I have not made any glass cutting boards, but I see them online a lot. I see them, I think that they're really good sellers on Etsy. The only thing that I would recommend is a glass cutting board, these acrylic or these ceramic ornaments. If you're going to be listing something like that on Etsy, for example, be careful if you're shipping things, because anything that's glass, if you don't box it up really good, your customer is going to get something broken. Unfortunately, I've also heard stories of people who pack things very well and the customer still says that they arrive broken, and they want a refund. A couple of people that I talked to have said that they weren't 100% convinced that the item was broken, that the customer refused to show them, said, "Oh, I threw it away already." Unfortunately, there's dishonest people out there. So if I'm shipping something, I try not to make something that's going to break when I ship it. So if you go, I have a website and I sell things, sohandydesigns.store, and I sell things. Nothing on my website is breakable. I'm not shipping anything that is going to get broken in transit. I make aprons, the car coasters, which they are breakable, but if I wrap them in bubble wrap and put them in a box, that's not likely at all to happen. But I make the aprons, the purses, shopping bags, bowl cozies. I would say probably 95% of the things that are on my website are not going to break when I ship them. That's just something that you want to keep in mind if you're selling online in any forum that you shop or sell, excuse me. Just keep in mind, is this going to break as you're deciding whether or not you want to sell that, sell that. That's a decision that you need to make and a risk that you need to be willing to take. So I hope that this helps you. I hope that I've given you some ideas. I hope that this helps you maybe decide on a few things that you might want to try your hand at. Please give this video a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet subscribed to Angela Shows You, I hope that you'll consider subscribing. A lot of the ideas that I've given in today's talk, I'm actually going to walk through how to make them. We'll do some, I have to get more of the coasters, but we'll do some of the coasters. These are so fun, and they are easy, and they are affordable to make, and they are, there's something that people will, everybody needs a coaster. So these are great to sell. They make great housewarming gifts. They, make a nice little gift. I stayed with a friend. I went out of town and I stayed with a friend, and I made her a set of coasters. I think I made her a set of 4 coasters, and I gave her a set as kind of a thank you for letting me stay at your house. And, I did all 4 of them were different, and, she loved them. So I hope that this gives you some ideas, and be on the lookout. I will be doing videos. We'll walk through making stickers. We'll walk through making coasters. We can walk through making some cups, and I may even walk through doing ornaments. So I hope that you will subscribe so that you see future episodes where we're going to get into some more tutorials. And I hope that you have a great day. Take care.